Hey guys, Renee here. So I was asked to create a video on what it was like being away from my kids. And in doing that, I actually get a lot of questions via email, via comments. I do respond to everyone personally, but I decided to go ahead and start this Dear Renee phase of my YouTube channel. So in this, I would answer questions that are coming to me because a lot of times the questions that I'm answering are questions that have been sent to me from a lot of different people. So to just be easier, even though I will absolutely text or email people back, it'll be easier to go ahead and put that content out there. So if you have a question or something you don't even know is a question, then it's already out there for you to see and to watch and to view. So if you're interested in watching this episode of Dear Renee, absolutely keep watching. Thank you. So what was it like leaving my kids? Ugh, it sucked. It sucked. Like I can't even like say any other phrase other than it sucked. Like being a mom is something that no one can take away from me. Like I absolutely love being a mommy. Like it's like the best thing ever, and I never even knew that it would be this great. So being away from my kids was like so surreal for me. But I knew that I was creating a life for them that was stable regardless of who else had input. And my situation at that time was I was taking care of my kids on my own. And it was back and forth with their dad, whether they were helping or not. Nothing was stable. And I realized that in order for us to be successful, in order for me to create this foundation, this life for them, I had to do drastic measures to get there. And at the time, I was just like, well, I'm in between jobs. Let me just, join the military, whatever. But my life was pointing me in that direction. Like, since I joined the military, so many things have changed. My kids have become so stable. We have such a different lifestyle. I'm doing work in a field that I absolutely love and always wanted to get in, but couldn't really get there as a civilian the way I wanted to. So even though I thought that me joining the military was just a whim, it actually was life pointing me in the right direction. So the sacrifice that I made for staying away from my kids for that amount of time was, necessary. So I was supposed to be gone for 6 months, but I actually ended up being gone for 7, which was hard. But the military does teach you to kind of go with the flow. I was not having any bills at that time. My mom kept the boys, so I sent her money for the kids, but I actually didn't pay rent, didn't pay car note, didn't pay anything during that time. So during that time, I actually was able to save a lot of money. So when I came home, it was easy for me to set up a house for us. A house, furniture, clothes, shoes, kind of get everything back where it needed to be from when I was gone. Because I essentially walked away from everything. I kind of dispensed everything that was in my house, gave it away, sold it, whatever, and then had nothing when I was gone. So when I came back, I had to like repurchase everything. And then my older son was kind of at an age where he was writing, he was in school, he was 5th grade, I want to say, around that age. So he was able to communicate with me. So I did pen a lot of letters to him, and it was cool because I didn't have to write to my mom or anyone else to have communication with him. I was able to write and have communication with him on my own. So that was really nice. The baby couldn't, but again, he really won't remember. He was like 3 when I left, so he really won't remember that time frame, and that's one thing that absolutely helped me. My son was so young that he'll just remember mommy being in the military, but he won't really remember that time when I was in the military. So I kind of focused on my older son, and when I came back, I actually had a conversation with him, and he was pretty upset. He told me that he was mad because everyone else had their moms and he didn't have his mom, and that bothered him. No matter what I sent, what I did, how much I talked to them, that time frame without having his mom, he didn't like it. And it's funny now because now he's at his dad's house, and he's a preteen. Well, no, he's a teenager now. He's 13, and he's just like, whatever. I don't need mommy, I'm a big boy. So it's so funny that when he was 9, it was like, I was really mad because you were gone. And now that he's 13, he's like, I'm cool with just texting you. You good. So, I mean, that is honestly what it is. Um, but what got me through was just knowing that I was creating a life for them. It sucked. Like, I can't sit here and make it seem like that time frame away from my kids was okay or cool or whatever, because it wasn't. It sucked. The good thing about the military is when you're in training, it's kind of like being on an island all by yourself. So it is out of sight, out of mind. They keep you so busy during every moment of the day that when they're not occupying your time, you're asleep or eating. But even when you're eating, they're telling you how to eat and telling you how to hold your cups and all this other stuff. So it's not even like you have time to think about, anything. It is like prison. We sat all in a circle and they called out mail and you got your mail. Or they ate our snacks and things that our family sent us. But it was okay. But seeing them, so my kids came to my basic training graduation. So that was 9 weeks being away from them, and then they came. So that was hard because they came and then they had to leave me again. So that was actually the hardest part of training, because the first part of training, was out of sight, out of mind. I didn't get to talk to them that often. I sent my money, I wrote my older son or whatever, but seeing their face and kissing them and smelling them and being close to them and then having to leave them again, that was actually the hardest part for me. The part where I had to dig deep and be like, okay, I'm doing this for them. Like, I'm creating a better life for them. Like, we're going to be together in 4 months. And this was actually for a longer period of time. So it was tough. It was. But I got through it, and every mother gets through it. I met a lot of mothers who actually had younger kids than I did. And we all got through it, because at the end of the day, everyone has their reasons for joining the military and doing that. But I kind of want to talk about your kids not being with you when you're not in the military. Like, because there are times when my kids aren't with me, especially now because of my schedule and things of that nature. And I know a lot of moms who are out here getting it in this life, doing what we have to do, taking care of our kids. And sometimes we have to bring in the help of other people in our family to help us, so that way we can continue to take care of our child. No one asks to be a single parent. I don't think so. Even people who choose to have kids through other ways outside of a man and a woman having a baby, they usually still have a partner or something. I don't think anyone, or there's a slim amount of people who will say, hey, let me just have this kid on my own. I don't want nobody else. I don't want no help, because it's difficult. It really takes a village. But even if you're not military, even if you are just a mom who is working a crazy schedule or going to school full time or doing whatever you have to do, and your mom or your grandmom or your cousin or your auntie or someone is taking care of your child and helping you, I'm not saying being a deadbeat mom. I'm not saying those people who have babies and just give them to other people. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that people who have an agreement, who are working on a plan to get in where they want to be, taking care of their kids financially, but taking steps to get to a better life, which requires a schedule where they cannot have their child with them full time. I get that too. And I'm not going to sit here and say that it's just military moms who aren't able to have their kids around them, because it's moms everywhere. It's moms or dads everywhere who kind of have to make that sacrifice that we as military parents make all the time, as other parents who are making that sacrifice. But as long as you're making that sacrifice so your kids can have a better future, then you got to do what you got to do. I think being away from my kids for that time kind of made them better people, which is weird, because mommies, we sit and we coddle our kids. We spoil them. And in doing all that, they get used to us being around. But not being around actually made my kids more fluid, made them go with the flow, made them understand sacrifice and reward. Because before I left, they seen the struggle, but then when I came back, it was like we have this great brand new life. So they understand that me being away was necessary, and it didn't make it all in vain. So that was nice. Yeah, I feel like I'm rambling, guys, because I honestly can't say that being away from your child is fun or being away from your child is okay. You honestly have to do what you have to do for your situation, and you got to dig deep. It's hard being away from your kids. I mean, you carry these children, you birth them, and you give them life, and it's hard to be away from them. So in being away from them, you have to make sure that the time that you are away from them, you are using that to get to the goal that's necessary. Not lollygagging, not wasting time, not just doing random stuff, but actually putting forth the effort to get where you guys want to be. And if you're doing that, then the sacrifice is worth it. And that's all I can really say. So I hope this video was helpful, but thanks guys for watching. Please subscribe. Please, 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 and have a great day. Bye.